What's up, guys? Welcome back to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron, and if it's your first time seeing one of my videos, I'd like to welcome you to my channel where I do music reviews and we just chill and talk about all the things that we love or hate. And on today's review, we're going to be checking out the new album Colors 2 by the band Between the Buried and Me. Between the Buried and Me is a progressive, like deathcore, metalcore band from North Carolina. They started in 2000. Colors 2 is their 10th studio album. It is the follow-up album to their Colors album. And Between the Buried and Me is one of the most influential bands to me because their album Alaska from 2005 is just, it is one of the top dogs in the metal genre as a whole. It's such a phenomenal album. And as they started to move more into like the progressive side of their music, I found myself becoming less and less interested. And it's not to say that their later albums aren't good, because they're phenomenal. Specifically, the Colors album is a fantastic album. It's just, I never found myself wanting to go back to it. It's not very memorable to me. When I listen to it, it's just like, okay, I'm done. Like, that was good and enjoyable. But when I listen to the earlier stuff, I'll finish a song, I'll be like, I want to do it again. And I'll start a song over and we'll go all the way through. So it's kind of a weird concept to me that they started to move more into the progressive side, and I fell away from it because normally I like progressive music so much. Dream Theater is one of my favorite bands, and I don't know why, but I had a really hard time clicking with them once they started to do that. It's just, it kind of lost it for me a little bit somewhere along the way. Colors 2 starts off with the song Monochrome, which is kind of like, it starts out like a piano ballad kind of thing, and everything's very gleamy as the vocals come in. There's like a chimey background effect that, it's kind of weird to say this, but it reminds me a little bit of Christmas, and that little effect sticks around as the piano is then replaced by a pounding guitar riff. And around the 2-minute, 10-second mark, the song completely switches gears and becomes heavier as its prog nature starts to take over and the vocals are exchanged for distorted vocals and everything becomes just a lot thicker and a lot fuller. And I would say that this is a appropriate introduction to this album. The lyrics are great, vocals are phenomenal, and it really just eases you into it. And the heaviness continues as it goes into the second song, the double Helix Extinction, which is just a plethora of great riffs, and there's breakdowns everywhere. And the distorted vocals are phenomenal. Their dynamic guitar riff sounds so great. It eventually makes you want to get up and start stomping around. The chorus has a great rhythm, and I really enjoy the clean vocals in it as well, but it's quickly overlooked as it goes into the second verse. And because of its aggression and its crazy drum work, and it kind of has like a technical death metal, deathcore kind of thing to it, it has like a throwback feel. It reminds me of some of their earlier stuff that they used to do. And this is something that Between the Buried and Me does so well, is they take that heavy, aggressive, angry, distortion, just nasty riffs, and they mesh it well with like these ballad kind of things, and it just works so well. They're so good at it. The double Helix Extinction just gets you ready for the next song, Revolution in Limbo, which is probably tied. Both of them are basically my favorite songs on this album. However, Revolution in Limbo is probably the fourth longest song on this album, coming in at about 9 minutes. And it's got some crazy guitar passages with drum work that feels like it's all over the place. Vocal performance and choices are top notch. The progressive influence in the first verse is just insane. The guitar melody is phenomenal as it kind of peaks in the chorus just to drop out as it goes down into like this low valley going into the second verse. The pre-chorus is slightly nastier, more distorted, more staticky sounding distorted vocals, and the solo after the second chorus is just epic, and it goes into like this really groovy, more riff, more drum driven tempo change thing that they do, and the back and forth, distorted and clean, and like the progginess in it is just so well done. The way how they mix it up, it really keeps you on your toes, and it flows in and out of these different styles so well, and it's really surprising. Like the interlude has like this kind of salsa influence thing to it. Reminds me of something that like Santana would play. It's just a phenomenal song. I just wish it wasn't 9 minutes long, it's the fourth longest song on this album. This album, it's one of its downfalls is just how long it is. The song "Fix the Air" is kind of like a Emerson, Lake and Palmer meets metal kind of song. The drum and keyboard and very bassy intro sound a little weird, especially when the vocals come in. And the verses mostly chugging and drums, and it pushes through to the chorus where everything becomes, again, just a little bit more epic, a little bit fuller. The post-chorus has like this jazzy interlude thing. Second verse sounds like a backtrack to like a race car video game, and it's kind of crazy how they managed to mix all of these different sounds and elements into like a heavy metal song, especially like in the bridge where all these things kind of come together and it's just so heavy and thick, and you have all these kind of fun noises going on in the background. But it doesn't always work, because after this we go into Never Seen Future Shock, and this is where the album kind of starts to lose me a little bit. It's got a very addictive intro that I just can't get enough of, and the vocals sound really good, and I feel like this is the production showcase. The production in this and the music, it's phenomenal. But like, there's a Renaissance sounding interlude thing that sounds kind of silly. The chorus and the music, it just sounds a little Dream Theater-esque, which isn't a bad thing, but it's something I've already heard before. It didn't really grab my attention all that well. There's this weird like whooping whistle sound in the background of one of the choruses or verses. It's got some awkward transitions and like tempo changes. It just didn't really do it for me. Like between each section of this song, because it's all split up into literally just different sections, it's like they wrote about a minute and a half of music and of like heavy metal music, and then they wrote like a minute and a half of like this djenty proggy thing, and then like a minute and a half of this other style of music, and they didn't really know how to piece it all together. So each transition, it sounds kind of weird. Like there's this one drum solo thing between one of them where the drums sound like they're offbeat, and it's very wonky sounding. It's very weird, and I could not get into it. And like I said, it kind of goes downhill from here, especially since this song is 12 minutes long, which made it really hard to get through, especially with all these transitions going on. I did enjoy the next song though, "Stare Into the Abyss," which starts out with this atmospheric intro where you can literally hear the fog machines blowing smoke at you. The drum work builds into an epic eruption of music with very clean, powerful vocals, and then it abruptly transitions into a more distorted part with a very thick, groovy riff and distorted vocals, and it flows directly into the next song, "Prehistory," which has drum work that feels like it's all over the place, has a very like jazz fusion intro thing, and it sounds really good. It's a little weird and it's a bit much, specifically because this is a 3-minute long song, which is probably the shortest actual song on the album minus an interlude. But this jazz fusion instrumental thing that they do, it goes on for literally half of the song. A minute and a half of this song is this, and then when the vocals come in, it sounds like Danny Elfman is singing. Like, I didn't know we were listening to Oingo Boingo. It's just very silly sounding. It's got cartoon effects thrown into the background. Kind of makes it feel like you're at a carnival or something. I also like the song "Bad Habits," which has a keyboard-driven intro, and the beautiful, just phenomenal melody that it brings meshes so well with the distorted guitars. The vocal duet is phenomenal. It's the first time where you kind of hear the same vocal style in the same section of a song. Normally it's like the verse is distorted and the chorus is clean, or like vice versa. But this is the first time when it's literally back and forth, line for line with the lyrics. The guitar solo is superb, and dare I say, a little colorful. And the bridge brings so much aggression. It's just such a great song. But unfortunately, it kind of dips back down again as we go into the next song, "The Future Is Behind Us." It is extremely proggy, a little djenty with tons of different sounds, with long, drawn-out vocals. There's weird transitions with like zero predictability. The post-chorus kind of thing that comes, I don't know. It's really hard to tell which section of these songs are, But the lyrics, it's just Danny Elfman comes back in. It's completely out of left field. However, I will say that the breakdown totally saves this song. I was not going to like it, but now it's just kind of an okay song because of it. The intro in Turbulent sounds like it's a Daft Punk tribute that just never ends. The vocals are very dramatic, but they do sound good. It is a more vocal-driven song, and even though the music is more technical and there's a lot going on, it doesn't really have any shining moments. It's more just a foundation thing for the vocals to sit on. And the breakdown is absolutely killer. I just wish it was a little bit longer. It goes into the next song, which I have no idea how to say it. I'm going to say it's Fumato, maybe, which is just an instrumental. And it sounds good. I don't hate it. Normally I don't like instrumentals or little just 1 minute long songs that don't really have a purpose in being there, especially in an album that's already so freaking long. But it sounds good. It's got like a really smooth guitar part, and like I said, I don't hate it. The closing track, Human as Hell, Another One with Love, is basically riff and breakdown city. It sounds so good in that sense, but it is the toughest song to make it through. It's 15 minutes long after you've already been listening to over an hour's worth of music. It's got a badass melody in the intro. It's got that old school Between the Buried and Me with like feel with distorted vocals, powerful guitar riff, and very, very powerful drums. The chorus and the pre-chorus are epic, and they're followed by like another weird vocal style thing that they do. The clean vocals sound good, but they kind of kill the mood a little bit, and the music with the clean vocals becomes a little bit more dream theater-y. Again, it's extremely back and forth from being very powerful and distorted and then going directly back into a more like cleaner, soaring high melodies and vocal kind of driven thing. The interlude in the bridge guitar solo thing is pretty dope. The Oingo Boingo inspiration comes back again 2 or 3 times throughout this song. It's just such a long song that just keeps going. There's a lot of unnecessary parts, I would say, to this song, and they just dragged it out forever. The lyrics are great. It's just they basically end this song 3 times. It's like they have 4 different sections worth of a song, and they didn't really know how to like connect it all together, so they just kind of forced it, and it feels that way at times. Like the song ends, I remember at one point it was around the 7-minute mark, and I was like, "Whoa, that was great!" And it just comes right back in, and there's still 8 minutes like left of the song. It feels like instead of having all 3 Lord of the Rings movies separated into 3 movies, like they made it into 2 movies instead. So instead of it being 3 hours long, it's in like 4.5 hours to 5 hours long for each movie. And you're just kind of left wondering, like, why didn't they split this up into more songs? I mean, I'm glad they didn't, because this would be a 15, 16 song track. And I don't know. It's a good closing track, but the length of it and just how drawn out and how forced it felt to me, it just kind of kills it. I actually enjoyed this album. The riffs on this album are phenomenal. The breakdowns are so great. The clean vocals are addictive. The distorted vocals get you really hyped up. The Danny Elfman kind of vocals, could take it or leave it. I'd rather leave it than take it, to be completely honest. It just sounds kind of weird. The progginess in this, like when they do it and they do it well and it just flows naturally, it's so good. They're so good at what they do, but I feel like when it doesn't come natural, it feels a little bit more obvious more often than not, and it leaves you feeling like you're a little bit disconnected from the song and the music, which I'm starting to discover that's why I have a hard time with them. And I honestly think it's because of the transitions. I feel like they have different sections of songs and they kind of miss it a little bit on how to connect those songs together. But when they do, nobody else does it better than them. But there is one thing that is wrong with this album that I just can't overlook, and it's a 80-minute album. It's like an hour and 17 or 18 minutes long, which feels way too like you feel it. It feels like a long album. When I reviewed the Tool album, it was 70 something minutes long, Fear Inoculum, and that album felt like it was really long and very drawn out. and there's 15-minute long tracks on there where, I mean, your drum solo does not need to be 8 minutes long. And that's kind of how I feel about Human as Hell and the other songs that are 12, 11, 9 minutes long. Those are the songs where it feels forced. You actually can hear a section of the song where it's like, okay, it can end right here, and it would be perfect. And it's not even short. It's like at the 8-minute mark, 7-minute mark, somewhere along there. But then it just keeps going, and it's just, it doesn't flow that well. The way how they combine the sections, again, it just, that's the biggest thing, is the transitions in these songs. When it doesn't work, it just does not work at all for me. So with all that said, I got to give Colors 2 by Between the Buried and Me a 7.1 out of 10. This was one of the hardest albums I've ever had to review, just because there's so much going on. There's so many elements, and because it is very long, it's hard not to just get lost in it, because after a while it does become a little predictable as well. You start to kind of pick up on their formula. The more times you listen to this album, which I listened to it a lot more than I really wanted to. I wanted to just do like 2 or 3, but because there's so much in it, I didn't want to miss out on anything. And because that, I kind of picked up on the formula. Like, it's got cool riffs and breakdowns, but after a while they all kind of, they're all the same. It's all the same riff and it's all the same breakdown after a while, and it kind of loses you in that sense too. But I want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Colors and what you would rate it. And don't forget to leave a comment letting me know what I should review next. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. It helps support me and my channel, and I appreciate all these things that you guys do: commenting, subscribing, liking, even disliking. Even if you don't do any of those things and you just regularly watch my videos, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to sit here and listen to me ramble about music, even if you don't agree with what I'm saying. And I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day or night whenever you happen to be watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time.
I was